Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Radical Sim Racing World Series. We are here with the Americas Tour, round number 6 of 8 from Oulton Park. And boy, do we have some interesting things heating up here on the racetrack this evening. Cars are all on track right now. 5 more minutes left in their practice session for this evening. And breaking news, we do not have at this point Lucas Vieira here at the racetrack and registered for the event. And when we look at the point standings for the Pro Division, Greg Seitz has a 10-point lead over Lucas Vieira. Greg Seitz currently 4th on the board in the speed charts in practice right now, but no Lucas Vieira here, which is going to give Seitz a little bit of breathing room. Vieira still has a little bit of time to show up, but that's going to give Seitz a really, really good look. He's 107 points ahead of Juan Moncada in 3rd place right now, so all he has to do is ride and put some good points on the board today, and he'll have a nice gap over top of Lucas Vieira with the last 2 races left in the season. When we go over to the AMS division, Richard Hearn currently way out front. Christopher Reagan in 2nd, and Manuel Solorzano is running out 3rd. And Solorzano currently 2nd fastest on the speed charts right now, right behind Juan Moncada of Team Radline. So he is looking in a pretty decent spot, with Richard Hearn being 9th quick. Could gain some really good points on the leader coming into the last couple rounds. And with our team standings overall, Rust Racing only 8 points in front of On Wheels TV Race Team. And with Lucas being gone today, On Wheels TV is only going to score half of the points they could against the Rust Racing competitors. So those Rust Racing guys will be able to pull out a little bit further ahead of On Wheels TV. And that might be a deciding factor when it comes down to the championship here in a couple weeks. This week, we are here at Oulton Park, a very, very fast racetrack. It's got some slow technical sections. It's got some blind hills and corners. It's going to really make for some awesome, exciting racing. And I cannot wait to bring it to you live here on JP Broadcasting on YouTube. Welcome to the party, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell for the notifications and give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you think is going to happen here this evening. Just a couple more minutes left to go. Looks like we've got Jason in the chat. How you doing, Jason? Good to see you out here tonight. And on top of the charts this evening is Juan Moncada. Looks like he's chilling in the pit road right now, but currently fastest on the speed charts. A few drivers sitting in the pits waiting to go. Solorzano is 2nd quick right now. So he is leading the AMS division, and he is a little ways away from the other AMS drivers. The closest one to him is Joel Jacklin there in 8th place. So he's got 3/10 over top of Joel Jacklin there, and that is definitely going to give him a little bit of an edge coming into the race this evening. Less than a minute left to go in practice here for these drivers. They're going to get 10 minutes of qualifying, lone qualifying, mind you. So we'll see what kind of lap times these drivers can put down. And I have to imagine that Greg Seitz is very excited to see that Lucas Vieira is not here this evening. He doesn't have any pressure that he's got to deal with anymore. He's plenty far out in front of the rest of the field at the moment. He just wants to make sure he gets some good points to be able to put a nice distance between him, Vieira, and the On Wheels TV race team as a whole. Mateus Marias is third on the speed charts with that only On Wheels TV race machine here this evening, so he's going to try to do his best to score as many points for his team as possible. But we're getting ready to go qualifying here at Oulton Park. 30 minutes will be the distance tonight. It is a timed race, and these guys all do run fixed setups. So no crazy setup changes or anything like that. They're all going to be running what they brung, and everybody's going to have the same thing. So 30 minutes, a long distance here at Oulton Park. The laps do go by fairly quickly here. Under a minute and a half laps, minute 19, minute 20 laps for race pace. The time will go by very fast, and we'll probably get 23 to 25 laps in, depending on how fast the leader's pace is. It's going to be a long race on these tight corners, and we'll take a ride with Solorzano as he gets ready to come around and take the green flag for his first flying lap of his lone qualifying. Lots of blind corners, and there you go. Here's the green flag. Turn one is a very tricky turn. You got to keep the speed up going through turn one, but you don't want to go off on the grass there. Turn two is also going to be a very difficult one, with turn three being a hard left-hander. Right there is another spot where you can end up going on the grass really fast if you try to push it just a little too much through the corner. You get up going through here, and you get a nice long left-hand turn. Good spot for possible overtakes right here, as you got to get on the brakes real hard, keep it down on the inside, and get a good exit. We could see some side-by-side racing going through that corner with some people trying to send it up into the outside just a little bit. They're going to get the most speed coming down this straightaway here and into the hard right-hand corner where they want to keep up the speed, but you see he almost goes off track there. And all these times we saw in practice could possibly be tracks with incidents. So if any driver goes off track at all, those lap times will be invalidated, and we will see who has had the fastest, cleanest lap here so far today. Reagan is going to be the first person to put in a time. Moncada, Hearn, and Seitz now putting in a time. Solorzano crosses the stripe, and he's going to go second quick. Greg Seitz currently the fastest driver on the field. And Zuccarelli is going to take the top spot so far with a 1:22.61. 0.04 of a second faster than Greg Seitz. Many drivers starting to put laps in now. Absolutely everybody on track, and we still do not see a Lucas Vieira. Time is ticking down for him to join the field. Can he make it in the last 6 minutes left here with qualifying? Zuccarelli currently on top. Greg Seitz in second, and Mateus Marias with the On Wheels TV car, there he is currently third. Oh, and there he goes way off track into the grass, pushing way too hard. Definitely don't want to do that into the race, and hard into the wall. So Marias might be able to have one more chance at getting back out here and putting a couple laps down, but with only 5.5 minutes left to go, we're putting down minute 20 lap times. That's going to give him maybe 2 flying laps if he can get out very fast. And Moncada does the fastest time with a 1:20.094. Joel Jacklin puts down a 1:19.925, the first 19-second lap we've seen so far, as Zuccarelli follows that right back up with a 1:19.766. As qualifying gets halfway over, we've got the safe laps. Now we're going to start seeing the push laps as Stephen Place moves up into third position and up top of Solorzano. Solorzano now back to fourth. Can he get back to the front? He's got to get a good clean lap. Joel Jacklin currently in the lead for the AMS division with a 1:19.925 and Solorzano with a 1:20.094. So only 1/10 of a second separating your two drivers. And Greg Seitz currently down 6th position right now. Just kind of cruising. Not sure if he's having a rough time with his track this evening or if he knows that Vieira is not here and that's why he's kind of just taking it easy. But here comes Solorzano. Can he get it to the top? No, he gets it up to third, but Seitz, as we say that, moves to the top of the board with a 1:19.526. 0.239 seconds faster than Zuccarelli in second, and Zuccarelli just puts a 1:23.41, 7/10 slower than his fastest time. So nothing there on Zuccarelli. We've got about 2 more laps for each of these drivers before our qualifying session is over and we get to our race. Hrvanis Gevorgian currently sitting in third place for the Pro Division. He is Greg Seitz's teammate, the other Rust Racing car, looking to gain some points on the On Wheels TV race team. And Mateus Marias currently bringing up the tail of the Pro Division in 8th position with a 1:24.97, almost a full second off Seitz's pace. Not sure if he's just having some off tracks and not able to keep it there, but he's really going to have a lot of work to do if he wants to score some points for that On Wheels TV race team. And Juan Moncada just goes second. Solorzano follows it up and goes second as well with a 1:19.631, and he's going to call it right there. Diego Zuccarelli comes third as he comes across the line. Stephen Place falling a little further back. He's currently 7th right now in that Team Red line number 5. Sorry, number 34. He is 5th in the Pro Division, and looks like he's going to come down to the pits. Greg Seitz going to stop on the track. Hrvanis Gevorgian is still on track. Joel Jacklin still on track. Richard Hearn really struggling here at Oulton Park. 10th quickest at the moment with a 1:26.90. It's almost 2 seconds off Greg Seitz's pace. Not sure if he'll be able to pick that up during the race or not, or if he's just trying to run easy because he's not a fan of the track. We'll see what his performance does in the race tonight. No caution flags here, so you get caught up in something further back in the field, and it could end your night. You do get one fast repair, but you probably are going to go down a little bit as Hearn goes a little bit quicker with a 1:21.41. Moves him up into 8th quickest. Gevorgian moves up to second with a 1:19.576. Only 2 drivers left on track. 1 minute left in qualifying, and he gets himself within 0.05 of Greg Seitz's time. Seitz just sitting on the track, and it looks like everybody is going to be calling it for qualifying, which is going to put Greg Seitz on the pole with a 1:19.526. 0.05 of a second faster than Hrvanis Gevorgian. Both Rust Racing drivers going to take the front row here for round 6 at Oulton Park. We're bringing all of the action live on YouTube with the JP Broadcasting Network. 30 minutes of racing coming up very shortly. Take a look at your track map one more time. We do have a good existing track here. It's been here for a while, and it's got a lot of areas to make mistakes and a lot of areas to make some passes. But ladies and gentlemen, the field is set. The grid is ready to go. Let's take a look one more time at your starting field. Greg Seitz going to take the pole, and his Rust Racing competitor, Arvanis Dvorjian, going to take second. Solorzano is going to take the lead for the AMS division, with Diego Zuccarelli starting the outside of row number 2. Juan Moncada and Joel Jacqueline going to round out your third row. Stephen Place, Richard Hearn in the fourth. And in the fifth row, Christopher Reagan and Mateus Marias. Ready to go racing here, folks. Just a few more people to fill out on the field. And round 6 is about to commence. 2 more weeks after this, we go to the Legacy Silverstone next week and Brands Hatch the week later. The lights are coming on. The lights are out. And we're racing here in Oulton Park. Seitz gets a great jump, and so does Solorzano. It seems like everybody's getting through the field pretty decent. Lots of side-by-side action as we get this thing going. And there it is, Marias trying to make a move. Oh, and there he goes. Moncada goes off the pace and into the wall. The Team Redline driver, Juan Moncada, goes into the wall. Tough break for him. Richard Hearn under attack. Lots going on so far. Greg Seitz trying to hold off Solorzano. It's going to be a fight for him. He can't let Seitz get away. It looks like Hearn and Stephen Place are battling there for 5th position. Place is going to take it from Richard Hearn. Richard Hearn falling back a little bit more. Mateus Marias up 6 positions already. Up into 4th, and Solorzano's getting passed by Diego Zuccarelli that quick. Solorzano must have made a little bit of a mistake. Juan Moncada has gone to the pits, so he is going to be going to get in that faster pair. Stephen Place all over Mateus Marias' bumper. Greg Seitz currently 0.4 of a second out in front. Christopher Reagan trying to make a move, dives to the inside of Richard Hearn. And Reagan is going to take that spot from Hearn, moving Hearn down to 7th position. And only after a couple laps, drivers now starting to get spread out throughout the field. This is a very fast and demanding track up front. Greg Seitz starting to pull away, but Zuccarelli trying to chase him down. Seitz with almost a second faster lap time than Zuccarelli already in here, but Zuccarelli all over his tail. He's going to try to make something happen on Greg Seitz here at the beginning of the race. Try to get Seitz in behind him. That way you could do a little more defensive driving. He's currently got Salarzano right on his tail as well, so he doesn't have any room for mistakes. And there it is. Zuccarelli puts down the fastest lap, and then Matheus Moraes takes it away. 1:26.16, the fastest lap of the race so far. Moraes trying to come and catch the lead pack as well. You see the top three: Seitz, Zuccarelli, Salarzano, running very close, but Matheus Moraes up 6 positions, and now into 4th, is working his way up the field. We didn't think that he was going to have a very decent race starting way back there, but he's really made a move to get up here. And Hovhannes Zavorzian is way in the back, had some sort of problem. Started on an outside pole and is now 10th. So not exactly sure what happened with Zavorzian, but he's trying to work his way back up to the front. Charles Krasik under attack from Tyler Brown. This is a battle for 8th and 9th position. Although everybody is starting to spread out a little bit, we are still seeing a couple battles on track. This is a battle for 8th and 9th. Greg Seitz just puts down the fastest lap of the race, and you can tell, look at the gap he's put on Diego Zuccarelli so far. Almost a half a second now. He just gained 0.2 of a second on that lap, putting in a 1:19.876. So the speed's starting to pick up as these drivers start to push. Moraes starting to creep up on Salarzano. That is going to be a battle creeping up very soon. And Tyler Brown all over Krasik's bumper, but he messes up the entry of that hairpin corner. And that's going to give him a really bad exit going down this straightaway. Might be able to catch you off from Krasik, but I don't think he's going to be able to make a move. Not quite yet. Some of these corners where you think you can make a move, it's a little bit faster than what you expect it to be. And it's not really a corner that can make it happen. Moraes all over Salarzano, trying to get up into that podium position. He looks to the outside. Coming across the stripe, they're going to be side by side as they go into turn 1. Moraes has got the inside line. Salarzano tries to do a crossover move, but he doesn't have the corner exit speed he needs. Stephen Place going to put down the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:19.677. He's currently running in 5th position. Trying to chase down these two, Salarzano and Moraes, as you see Stephen Place there in the black and yellow Team Radline car coming into the mix. He's now going to put the pressure on Salarzano. Can he allow Moraes to get away battling with Salarzano? Because it will happen if he doesn't get this move done quick. He tries to look to the outside. Salarzano takes the defensive line on the inside and blocks the line for Place. So Place is going to have to follow him until he gets to a good braking point, which is going to be right here. He dives down to the inside. They keep it clean. Salarzano still has the advantage, but Place not going anywhere. Moraes runs away, trying to catch your leaders back down. It's such a close battle, keeping it very tight-knit between these two. Stephen Place trying to get by Salarzano. Place in the Pro Division. Salarzano currently leading the AMS division. It looks like Place is going to relieve some of the pressure, maybe cool down the tires just a little bit. Greg Seitz still out front. Zuccarelli not giving in. Seitz would love to be able to slow down, but Zuccarelli is keeping him right there within about a half a second to 0.4 of a second. And it looks like Tyler Brown once again trying to make a move on Krasick. Just hasn't been able to get there. He's going to dive down to the inside on a long straight. They're going to be side by side as the other corner. Tyler Brown, oh, he gets pinched, gives room, lets off, and Krasick gets back out front of those two. But a good battle going on here, and there's a close battle for the lead. Zuccarelli doing everything he can to try to get around Seitz. With a bad corner there, Seitz is going to pull back another half second over top of Zuccarelli. And Brown on the inside of Krasick. He's finally going to get the job done after a couple laps of trying to get by. Salarzano just drops the fastest lap of the 1:19.4. 4/10 of a second than the leaders at the moment. So Salarzano really trying to be on the move, really pushing that car. And Krasick goes off into the grass. He pushes way too hard. We'll have to see what just happened there. And he just gets on the brakes and loses it just a little bit. Luckily, he did not get hit by anybody. Battles have somewhat simmered down on the track. Salarzano trying to catch up to Mateus Marias, and Stephen Place trying to catch up to Salarzano. Even the battle for the lead has simmered out just a little bit. Zuccarelli now falling back to 7/10 behind Seitz. And we are 1/3 of the way through the race. 10 minutes in, 20 minutes left to go. Salarzano still with the fastest lap of the race, trying to catch up to Mateus Marias. So you got Greg Seitz currently in the lead. Diego Zuccarelli right behind him, and he's catching. He just gained 2/10 of a second there on Seitz, and he loses 5/10 of a second in that corner. You really got to watch out for that. Now Mateus Marias, who's in third, breaks to within 8/10 of a second of Zuccarelli, and that is going to put Zuccarelli in a position of giving Marias some draft. As you see, that time creeps down a little bit more, 7/10 of a second now. This is going to be the battle to watch here between Zuccarelli and Marias for second place, as Greg Seitz now almost has a 1.5 second gap over top of Zuccarelli. Borgian still trying to work his way up after starting second place on the grid, currently 9th. Still not exactly sure what happened to him. He just all of a sudden was down back in 10th, and he is a ways back from the leader. So Gevorgian really wishing there was a caution right now. As you see him use that number 9 bubble, the white bubble, and he's got a ways to go to catch up back to the leaders and up to the front spot. Greg Seitz still doing a great job of holding Diego Zuccarelli back, but now Zuccarelli is really starting to feel the pressure on Marias, and Salarzano is actually starting to feel the pressure from Stephen Place. So two battles starting to heat up, and Zuccarelli really getting close to losing that second place spot to Mateus Marias. Marias started 10th position, now currently in third, and trying to work on Zuccarelli for that second position. Greg Seitz now almost with a 2-second lead over top of Zuccarelli. Zuccarelli really driving that car very hard. And something happened with Mateus Marias there. He lost a bunch of time to Diego Zuccarelli. Tries to go a little hard, and there it is. He gets off in the grass. He's going to lose some time, and now Solorzano is all over his tail with Stephen Place all over his as well. But Zuccarelli now sitting in a really nice spot, 4th position. He's almost 2 seconds behind Seitz, and he's now got the same distance back to Marias. And there you go, Stephen Place starting to put pressure on Solorzano here. Zuccarelli just puts in his fastest lap of the night, so he is pushing but still losing time to Greg Seitz. Now 2 seconds the actual gap. Stephen Place brings it in to 0.3 of a second to Solorzano, and Solorzano into 0.5 a second to Marias. This is the battle on track right now, folks. If you're just joining us, we are halfway through round number 6 of the Radical Sim Racing Americas Tour. We are in Oulton Park, and welcome to the JP Broadcasting Network live on YouTube. The action is packed, and we are watching a battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position. Solorzano doing a great job currently. He is currently leading the AM division, battling with a couple of the guys in the Pro division. Stephen Place getting right onto his bumper, but Solorzano is all on Marias. He goes a little bit wide there. That's going to give Place the opportunity on the inside. He's going to have the advantage into turn number 1 now. Stephen Place moves ahead of Solorzano, and Place goes off the track. Now Solorzano going to come back to the outside. Good left-hand turn. Solorzano thinks twice about it, doesn't want to do it. And Place almost goes off the track one more time. So these two still going to be very, very close. They're driving right on the edge. So we really got to watch for one of these guys making one mistake. All it takes is putting one tire off the track, and you're losing a good second or two on the car in front and behind you. Looks like Gevorgian is getting ready to make some moves. He's got Tyler Brown in his sights. Just doing everything he can to make up for the incident earlier in the race. Trying to score as many points for that Russ Racing team with one of the On Wheels TV drivers off. This is the perfect opportunity to get a nice lead on the other teams, and unfortunately Gevorgian having a rough day. Seitz still out front. He's got over 2 seconds on Diego Zuccarelli, and then he's even got about almost 4 seconds on Mateus Marias, who's in 3rd. Stephen Place 4th, and now Solorzano 5th. As you see, these drivers have spread out quite a bit since they got by each other. It shows you just how much one driver can be holding it up. And you see how they're going wide on that corner. That is all because they are running out of tires. They're halfway through this race, 13 minutes left to go. And the tires are starting to wear, so they really got to watch their braking zones, their throttle on zones, their turning, how much pressure they're putting. Lots of stuff going into these drivers' minds. And Solorzano is going to try to take advantage of Place having a rough lap. Gains a bunch of time on him. And now Gevorgian looks like he's going to try to make a move on Brown. Not going to be able to do it on this set of corners. Just not close enough at the moment. So we will go back to Solorzano, who's once again falling a little bit back from Stephen Place, but Stephen Place goes off track there. Once again, the same spot as last time that might allow Salarzano to catch back up. Then he does. Places has a horrible corner. Salarzano goes to the outside. Place sticks to the defensive line. And Salarzano is going to take fourth place back from Place. And now he's going to use that inside defensive line around the tight corner. And he's going to pull out. Don't think this battle is over. With 12 minutes left to go, these drivers have plenty of side-by-side action. As you see Place trying to look to the outside. Salarzano going to hold that line. Diego can't get there. So now Salarzano, all he has to do is drive defensively. Christopher Reagan, the second place in the AMS division, is a second behind these guys. So they don't have to worry too much about that as they're side by side. Place doing everything it can to get by Salarzano. But this is going to give Place the unbad advantage. I mean, he's going to be on the outside. He's not going to have the advantage going into one. He gets a little wiggle and keeps it out. And oh, they get to Salarzano and Place touch. They're both spinning sideways out to the exit of turn number one. Place gets it going first. Salarzano gets it going second. Devastating way to end the race. He comes out on the track in front of a couple cars, but wow. What exactly happened there? Stephen Place and Salarzano get together. Place on the inside, washes up. Or no, Salarzano on the inside, washes up and gets into Place. There's not enough room for those two drivers. Take a look at that one more time. He gets a little bit loose, washes up. There it is. You see the little wiggle he got loose, washed up into Place, and now both those drivers in a world of hurt getting into that wall. But now we've got Javorjian, who's worked his way up to 8th. And with that little bit, he's still trying to work on Tyler Brown for 7th. As the battle heats up here, Greg Seitz out front continues to pull away from Diego Zuccarelli. 2.8 seconds the current gap. Zuccarelli gaining just a little bit of time there on the track, so now it's down to 2.7 seconds, but still almost 3 seconds. That's a major mistake for Greg Seitz, and Seitz hasn't been seen to be making too many mistakes so far in this league, so I believe Seitz is going to have this in the books. He's got a 19.605. Salarzano still with the fastest lap of the race with a 19.472. And with the tires wearing down and being over 20 minutes into this race, I do not see that time being broken. So congratulations to Salarzano for getting the fastest lap of the race. These guys could prove me wrong, but with the times that I'm seeing, I don't see that happening at the moment. As you see Seitz putting in a 1:23.85. These guys getting past Place and trying to battle. Javorjian gonna do everything he can to get by Brown, but just doesn't seem to have the speed to really catch up and get on his tail. This is as close as he's been in the last couple laps. See if he can make a move. Seems like Brown is doing a little bit better through the corners, but not too much. Once again, Javorjian falling back to 0.6 of a second. Gains a little bit there, but Javorjian just having a tough time starting on the outside pole. Very surprised he's having a tougher time getting up towards the front. As you see the fastest lap times there, Greg Seitz had a fastest time of 1:19.605, and Gevorgian is right there with a 1:19.602. So the only thing that I can imagine is that Gevorgian is making a couple mistakes here and there. He's a little bit frustrated, and now he can't stop making mistakes, which is causing him to have a rough time here on the race. And it looks like Mateus Marias just went off track for a second. He's still doing pretty well, keeping Diego Zuccarelli in his sights, but starting to lose a little bit on him. 1.2 seconds the gap. He's just losing more and more time to Zuccarelli. Gevorgian might actually, no, he lost a bunch of time there in that corner once again. He's losing a lot of time. And that one corner will get it down to almost 0.3 of a second, and he gets through that corner and he loses 0.3 of a second. Not sure if he's just trying to be safe or what's going on there, but Gevorgian getting close and then backing off, and getting close and backing off. He's got 6 more minutes left to do it. Hearn a good 6 seconds or so ahead of these two, so I don't see Gevorgian getting past Richard Hearn, but he could still get that 6th place position, which would definitely help with the On Wheels TV race team, as Mateus Marias is currently in 3rd position. Battle heating up once again between Place and Solorzano. And it looks like possibly another Team Redline car. I believe that would be the lap down machine of Juan Moncada coming up behind these two, as you see Solorzano do a little bit of a lock up there. Tyler Brown still under pressure. Can Gevorgian make a move here into the braking zone? He's just not close enough. Oh, and he gets really loose. Gevorgian gets that car almost sideways, and he's going to lose a lot of time as Solorzano and Place and Moncada now starting to group up. 4 minutes left to go in the race. That's just going to be over 3 laps. So yeah, we are going to hit lap 23. I believe we'll hit lap number 24 for this series. Gevorgian making a move back on Tyler Brown. Brown must have made a mistake himself, which allowed Gevorgian to move back, and Solorzano gets past Place. I think Place gave it to him after that last incident, but Gevorgian doing what he can to get around Brown, and once again through that corner just loses a bunch of time. Tyler Brown might be safe if he can just keep Gevorgian behind him until that corner, because that corner Gevorgian loses at least 0.2 of a second, if not 0.3 of a second on Brown every time he hits that corner. And we've got Richard Hearn having some problems. Looks like Hearn went off the racetrack there. Gets a little loose under braking and can't stop. Slides out. Oh, and he gets hard into the wall. Oh, that is not going to be good for Hearn. He's got plenty, as you see him hitting the pit lane there, he's got plenty of points ahead of behind him between second place, but that's definitely not something you want to see when you're trying to coast. And finally, Gevorgian making a move on Tyler Brown, and he's going to get it done in the corner that he's been struggling in. So there he goes. Getting that corner right will definitely help you. Charles Krasick getting by Richard Hearn as Hearn comes back out of the pits after getting his fast repair. Tyler Brown trying not to let Gevorgian get by. He's got 2 minutes, 2 laps. Can he get back by Gevorgian for that 5th place position? Looks like he's losing quite a bit of time. So we will take you through our field real quick while we don't have too much going on. Greg Seitz keeping it quiet out front. Currently almost 5 seconds over top of Diego Zuccarelli, and Salarzano on the pit road. Just now getting there. And Hearn going off track one more time. So the last couple minutes of the race, as we hit the 1 minute mark, 60 more seconds left to go. Multiple drivers having issues and going to pit lanes and whatnot. With a minute left, Seitz, all he's got to do is complete these next 2 laps, and he is the winner here. He gains a bunch of points on Lucas Vieira, who did not show up to the race this evening. And with Gevorgian now up in 5th, they are doing a pretty decent job at keeping that team championship at a good spot. Krasick having a big problem. He gets passed by Hearn. Krasick and Hearn. Krasick actually sideways on the racetrack, and that is why Hearn was getting by him there. But as we take a look at Greg Seitz, he is only halfway through this lap. So as he comes across the start line the next time by, it will be the final lap of racing. As the clock ticks down, 30 minutes of racing has expired. The white flag will be shown next time. 1 more lap to go. Greg Seitz currently out front. Diego Zuccarelli in second, 5.5 seconds back. Mateus Marias almost 3 seconds back from Zuccarelli. Christopher Reagan in 4th. Horvanis Gevorgian in 5th. And as Greg Seitz gets ready to take the couple final turns, he is going to get the white flag from the flagman. Krasick still having issues, but Seitz coming out. There you see the white flag waving. 1 more lap to go. Oh no, and that's going to be the checkered flag actually. Seitz going to take the win. Diego Zuccarelli comes second. Mateus Marias pops home in 3rd. Christopher Reagan 4th. Horvanis Gevorgian is going to take the 5th place spot as he comes across the line. Tyler Brown is going to take 6th place. Stephen place after a hard-fought battle with Salarzano. And getting taken out, he is going to come home 7th. Salarzano is going to take 8th once he gets to the stripe. Quite a bit of distance in the last half hour that these drivers spread out. I was honestly surprised to see almost 50 seconds of separation between the 13 drivers here this evening. Richard Hearn, the leader of the AMS division, that far back. We usually see him up towards the front. He's still on track when the race is over. He is going to finish 9th position, and that's going to be 4th place in the AMS. And rounding out the top 10 is going to be the number 25 machine of Joel Jacklin. And there you have it, folks. What a drive. What a race here at Oulton Park. Only 2 more weeks left to decide the championship. We head to Silverstone next week. And in 2 weeks' time, we go to Brands Hatch for the season finale. And it is going to be an awesome show. Let's see if we've got any of our drivers in here. We do have a couple drivers ready to come up into the booth. So without further ado, let's bring in our third place finisher, Mateus Marias. Congratulations, third place finish. You had a really rough race to deal with today. You started P10, worked your way up 7 positions up to P3, and almost had Diego Zuccarelli there for a moment, but just didn't quite have the pace to get by him. Tell us about your race. Oh yeah, it is. It was a beautiful night. We had a lot of fun watching racing this evening. Well, your teammate. No, your teammate wasn't here, and with the pace that you had, you pretty much did as much damage control as you couldn't. Vieira losing quite a few points to Greg Seitz with that victory today on the points championship, going from 10 points behind to quite a few points behind now. But you did a pretty decent job holding on to the closeness for the team points. You see that yes, Gevorgian, he did start on the outside pole, but ended up finishing in 5th position, a couple spots behind you. It's got to feel good knowing that you're at least somewhat putting some points on the board for the team and trying to keep you guys in contention for that championship.
Oh, my goal was to hold Greg, but it was impossible. He was way ahead, really fucking fast. What the hell? It's fucking impossible to do anything. It's just, that's what it is, my friends. I tried. I wish I could have done something more, but I couldn't. But it was good anyway. It was awesome. Congratulations to Diego. Congratulations to Greg. All the guys that were trying to keep some guys, there were some guys fast, way behind. Uh, if they hadn't made mistakes, they would have been upon us. It's like that, you know. And congrats to Vieira. Vieira could afford this week off. He is taking a trip. And that's it. That's it, guys. Vacations, you know.
Well, there
I'm
you
done.
have
I'm
it.
done.
You got anybody
I'm
you
not gonna
want to?
take time anymore.
Yeah, vacations are always nice, especially if they're somewhere warm. You got anybody you want to thank for the podium today, Matthias?
I just want to thanks everyone who comes to the race. You guys who are doing an excellent broadcast. The people who enjoyed and then watched us, I don't know how many they were, but just thank everyone who could see us today.
There you have it, folks. Your third place finisher, Mateus Marias, for the On Wheels TV race team, getting it done while his teammates sitting on a beach sipping margaritas. And then now we've got a driver. He was battling. He almost had Greg Seitz there for a minute and just didn't have the pace to be able to keep it going. Diego Zuccarelli, congratulations on P2. You really put a drive in here this afternoon. Tell us what it was like being right on Greg Seitz's bumper and just watching him sail away into the distance.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, I was just chatting with Greg in the waiting room. It was fun. It was fun. Like I was like close for what, like 5-6 laps, and then as I was telling him, I had Mateus behind me that was like slowly catching up. So I was more worried, to be honest, to look at my mirrors than to look forward. Like, but yeah, like finishing a race 6 seconds behind Greg. Sometimes it gives me like 2 seconds per lap, so that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, we've seen him and Vieira finishing 15 seconds ahead of the field, so to keep only 6 seconds on him in the full 30 minutes is quite an accomplishment. And for the first, like you said, 5, 6, 7 laps, you were putting in faster lap times than Sights. Was that you pushing to try to get up front to not let him get away? Or was that just more of him kind of saving, calm and collective, wait until there's pressure, and then really start to push himself?
Yeah, I believe it was like taking a little easier. I purposely practice a little more like on cold tires, like the first 3-4 laps. I had like a numerous things like that, just to understand how far I could push, but keeping like in a comfortable pace without risking too much. So yeah, I found myself I was almost faster for a little bit. Then, as I said, I would have never even imagined to be able to battle with him for a longer time. So like after that, I did make a couple of mistakes that cost me like a half a second here and there. And at that point, once like I was like 1.5 seconds behind, I honestly like just concentrated on Mateus and make sure not to make mistakes myself, but still keeping a pace that was keeping me safe at least until the end.
Well, you definitely had a fantastic drive. Once the stuff happened a little bit back there with Marias, and there was an incident between Solorzano and Stephen Place, which broke up the 3-car field back there and slowed down Marias just a little bit and allowed you to have a little bit of breathing room in front and behind. Is there anybody you want to thank for this podium finish tonight?
Well, I want to thank the league, of course. Like there's always like amazing races. Like every race we keep saying about is still true. So like congratulations also to the drivers, because everybody on the field needs to put their own effort to make such like a fun race. And yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to you guys and to my family that follows like every race. So yeah, my cheers go to them.
Well, there you have it. Diego Zuccarelli, congratulations. Podium finish tonight here at Oulton Park. 2 more weeks left to go to help yourself get some more points to get higher up in that championship race. Good luck to you for the rest of the season. And now we've got the man of the hour, our points leader, who just put a seemingly now impossible gap over Lucas Vieira. Greg, congratulations on another victory here in the Radical Sim Racing Americas Tour. What was going through your mind at the beginning of the race watching Diego Zuccarelli all over your tail?
Well, first of all, I didn't get my usual level of practice, so I was really kind of tiptoeing around. I didn't want to, it just takes the smallest mistake here and it's game over. So luckily I got pole. I was actually kind of surprised based on the practice times. My pace wasn't really there this week. And so getting pole was really great. So I was able to kind of like, set the pace and, at my comfort level rather than the guys behind me. And I knew it would be really hard for them to pass me unless they tried something pretty crazy. So, I knew once I got the tires up to temp that, I had pretty decent and consistent pace. I think consistency is what paid off today, not outright pace. But yeah, I was really fortunate to get pole and be the guy out in front because if somebody else had been in front of me, it would have been really hard to get past them here.
Yeah, we were watching you in practice, and we were really surprised to see you 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th quickest in the time chart. So we were like, what is going on with Sights, the leader of our championship? Why is he so far back? And we were wondering if it was possibly because Vieira wasn't here, so you were just kind of taking it easy, knowing that you've got that lead, or if, like you said, the practice problem where you haven't had a lot of practice and you're still trying to come up to speed with the racetrack. When you're in a championship like this, we all know that this is a virtual thing. We do this on iRacing. This isn't in a real car, so we all have lives. How is it that you balance the I need to get on track to practice because I'm fighting for this championship, and I can't get on track because I have life to deal with. And does that mess with you mentally when you are in a battle for a championship as close as the one you had with Vieira entering into round 6?
Yeah, absolutely. This week I was super busy. I was my partner and I, Kate, are buying a house, so we were all over that, and I just had no time to practice. Usually she's pretty good and pretty accepting of my hobby here, and but yeah, we just were too busy this week, and so I had no time, and I may or may not even make next week. So Lucas will probably get back that win that I got today. If he had been here today, he probably would have beat me because I just was not really kind of up to my usual standards. It's definitely tough to kind of balance both because it takes a fair amount of practice to really get to that level where you just have that consistent comfort, lap after lap after lap.
I had a friend always tell me it's 200 laps. Once you put 200 laps down in a car and a place, something just clicks inside you and you can run a little more consistent. But as you see, these laps are 1 minute and 20 seconds long. To put in 200 laps is going to be over 4 or 5 hours worth of practice, and sometimes within 6 days it's kind of hard to get that practice in. But with the little practice you had, you made us a little nervous there in practice, and you got the pole in qualifying. You did a great job on the start. We saw the beginning of the season you had a rough time getting them starts down, but you got it done. You come home, you lead the entire race, and you take home the win once again for Rust Racing. You got anybody you want to thank, Greg?
Yeah, once again, thanking you guys for doing the broadcast and the league. The league for putting on these races are great, a lot of fun, and my competitors and Diego and Mateus tonight, getting on the podium as well. So congrats to those guys, and of course my partner Kate, for letting me race.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Greg Seitz is going to take home the victory here for round 6 at Oulton Park. For all of us here at JP Broadcasting, thank you for coming out and joining us tonight. What a wonderful time. Make sure you join us next week, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, here right live on JP Broadcasting. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every single time we go live. And as always, hit that like button if you liked what we were watching here. From everybody here at JP Broadcasting, thank you so much for coming out, and you guys have a wonderful night.